All right, everybody, we're set up here. I know a lot of you have been waiting for the Umarex MP40 machine gun review, the field test review. I've done my tabletop review, so you can check that one out. But I know a lot of you wanted to see how this gun performed. It's taking me a little bit of time, but you know what? We're going to do it right now. I was thinking about trying to resolve the feeding issue with the magazine. There's been several people indicating online in videos and reviews and things that sometimes the magazine feeds a little weird, especially if you don't double stack it properly. The only thing that I've done, I'm going to give it a fair test, is I've squirted a little bit of this Jig-A-Loo. Basically it's a lubricant that goes on kind of dry. Well, it goes on wet, but it creates a dry lubricant. And I use it on my gym and stuff. It's great for gym equipment, for sliders, cable systems, things like that, pulleys. So I thought, give it a try in here. The problem that happens is that where the magazine double stacks and kind of bottlenecks, where it kind of goes from a double stack into the single stack at the top there, is sometimes it tends to bind in that area. And so what happens is it doesn't feed. So it just stops feeding, and the last BB just won't feed because there's like a blockage. So I'm doing everything I can. I'm using Umarex ammo, okay? So I'm using their ammunition. I was using RWS, and I found that was being a little sticky. Now it was a little bit older. Sometimes steel BBs can kind of slightly corrode, and that corrosion can create, friction. These are really new BBs. They're Umarex. We're going to give this a go. So we're going to put some shots through the chronograph first to see what kind of real-world FPS we get. Let's double check this. Make sure we're good here. Good. Okay. And we are going to see what kind of feet per second we can get, 5 rounds. First of all, then I'm going to shoot 10 rounds into the paper target from the same position, but it's 30 feet away roughly, and see what kind of accuracy we get in single fire, so single shot. And then we're going to put it in full auto mode and pretty much unload the magazine and see if we can get through the magazine without any, feeding issues, and of course see what kind of accuracy we get. So let's proceed here. Now I got to kind of hold this in a weird way. Let's get it off safe and see if we can get some readings. Error. That's never good. Let me just pull it over a little bit here. Oh, Cronny's not being happy for me, is it? Okay, that's weird. It's been working beautifully for me in the C can. So let's just try slightly different positions. There we go. 406. 413. Error. I'm not really sure why. This thing's been working excellent for me. I'm going to just bring it a little closer. 395. 397. We'll do one more. I'm not sure if that was 5 yet. Okay, we got 3 readings. Put it back on safe. Okay, so right around 400. This gun is rated to 450. Let's just see what the temperature is. Got a thermostat in here. It's not exactly super warm. So we're at 17 degrees Celsius. I can't remember what that is in Fahrenheit, but it is a different reading for sure. Maybe I'll put it up here for you guys. So in a hotter environment, sometimes the C can get a little warmer, but it's early in the morning, and I'm not heating it in here during the summer. But in the summertime, later on in the day, it can get a little warm in here, so it would shoot a little hotter. But 17 degrees is still not a bad testing temperature for sure. All right, so I'm going to set up the paper targets, and we'll get back to the shooting and see what kind of accuracy we get from the Umarex MP40. All right, so now it's the fun part of the shooting video, this field test shooting review for the Umarex MP40. Let's get right to it. I got to kind of prop this up, sit up high, big boy stance, just get kind of in a position that is sort of comfortable, because it's more of a standing gun, really, but we'll do the best I can here. I guess I should take it off of safe. Let me double check. Yeah, there we go. I don't want to be in full auto just yet. That'll happen. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna put it in full auto right now, but we'll be very safe. So that was 10 rounds. I've loaded 50 rounds into the magazine. We didn't seem to get any feeding issues in semi-auto with a full mag. So that's promising. Let's go take a look, see what kind of accuracy we got. First time I really shot at a target. Wow, that's pretty nice. That's a really nice group. Almost an inch. I'd say very, very close to an inch. Very happy with that because the targets on the black sight is kind of hard. I mean, I was just kind of like hoping that I was aiming properly, and apparently I was. Okay, I'm going to do a mag dump because if there's going to be any feeding issues, we'll find that out when I do a mag dump. And let's just see if we can get through about 40 rounds in no time at all. I think that's it. Well, we still got some BBs in here. It might have had a little cool down going on. I think that's it. Are we locked back? Yeah, we're locked back. Okay, so it didn't really look like the magazine was blocked. It was almost like the gun cooled down a little bit and I didn't get a full blowback on one of the shots. That could potentially happen in a warmer, you know, if it's hotter out, if the gun's a little warmer, it should be fine. These were brand new CO2s. But when you're doing a mag dump, sometimes you can have a little bit of a radical cool down within the system, which will cause blowback to kind of not be. Wow, that's pretty good. I mean, I had pretty much the bulk within 2 inches, and then I had some go over here. That might have been when I resighted and just shot again. Those might have been the last few rounds. But when I was aiming, probably the bulk of them, I think what we're going to see is most of them hitting here. Maybe that second burst was right there. Okay. Pretty sweet. I'm really impressed with it. You know, it didn't really have a lot of feeding issues other than at the end there, but I think that was more about cooldown than anything else. Sometimes if you're going to be using a full auto gun, you want to do little short bursts. You know, that's typically how you're going to use it anyways. You're not typically going to just do a complete mag dump. You might. It's kind of fun. But if you want to save ammo and CO2, you're probably going to take, you know, shorter bursts overall. Definitely a fun gun to shoot full auto. It works well in full auto. You know, it cycles well, as you can see in that video. So triggers, getting back to operation. Got to make sure when you feed it double stack. Be patient loading those BBs in, double stack it all the way. You know, maybe make sure you're using good quality BBs. Anything with any corrosion on them is going to bind up in that magazine. Maybe use a lubricant in there. Play around with it a bit. Some people have used heavier springs in the magazines. There's some options out there. Trigger is okay, but it's feels a little heavier to me, like it was unexpectedly heavier than I thought. Not that it's heavy, but I was expecting it to be a little bit lighter. It's fine, especially when you're shooting full auto. You only got to pull it once, right? So overall, really cool gun. I love it. I mean, who doesn't love a full auto machine BB gun? I don't think there's too many people out there. All right, thanks for watching another Replica Airguns video. Don't forget to subscribe. Check me out on Facebook and Twitter. Username is Replica Airguns. Also come on down to replicaairguns.com for the articles, reviews, pictures, posts, things like that. And of course, replicaairguns.ca, our Canada store, and replicaairguns.us, our US online store, where we sell air guns, BB guns, pellet guns, blank guns, airsoft guns, knives, and other accessories. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.